everybody. It is time, y'all. You know what day it is? You know what time it is? It is Tuesday, 6 p.m. So, that means it is time for Me Powered with Rhonda, where everything you need is already inside of you. And today, it's just me, myself, and I, but I've got a fantastic show for you. Before we get started, we're going to be talking about the trap of comparison and how to get out of it. And I got all kinds of good stuff for you. If this is your very first time listening to this show, or if you would like to know how to tune in, go ahead, Lady J, and let them know how they can tune in.
If this is your first time tuning into the show or to JQLM Radio and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQLM Radio 24/7, 365 via Amazon Alexa, TuneIn app, the Stream and Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find located on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us. We do follow back. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio. You can also connect with Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EgoEntNet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter also. Also, connect with us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network, at youtube.com/Ego TV Network.
Thank you so much, Lady J, for that. And if you would like to follow me, you can also follow me on several platforms as well. On Facebook, we've got a show page, which is actually at Me Powered. My personal page is at Rhonda Thompson. And on Instagram, we also have a show page, which is at me.powered, and everybody knows me as Rhonda T and ATL. You can still join me there and get all the good stuff on everything that's going on. We also have a website that is coming soon, which will be mepowered.co. So keep your eye out for that. You can follow us on YouTube as well. And we're about to get into this show. So make sure you connect with me. I would love to hear from you. And here we go. So tonight, I am going to be talking on the subject of the trap of comparison. And this is a very timely message right now, or teaching, so to say. And it's one that I can draw from based upon a lot of experience myself, of things that I've gone through and different things that I have fallen into myself over the years. But what's unique about this show, and I love it when it's just myself. I used to get nervous when there was no guests, but I created this platform because I'm a counselor. First and foremost, a coach, an advocate, and a speaker. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart. And a lot of people, a lot of clients that I get, whether they're at the hospital, whether they're one-on-one clients, whether they're couples, whether they're male, female, teenagers, kids, whether they're straight, bi, gay, whatever they are, everybody deals with the trap of comparison. That's one thing that I see across the board. So I thought, why not have a show dedicated just to that, and share about how it develops, why it develops, and what do you do to get yourself out of that trap of comparison. Because when we compare ourselves to somebody else, sometimes that can be very good, which will help motivate you to get the best out of you. But sometimes that can be very negative, and it can make you feel like you don't measure up. And that's what we want to dispel this evening. Is we want to break that myth. We want to break that thought process, that cognitive pattern that you are not enough, or that you yourself don't measure up in some way, shape, or form, or there's some part of you that is fragmented, that is broken, that is not whole, that is just not good enough. Because there's so many people struggling with that. And that's a heavy burden to carry. And that's a heavy burden to operate out of. So we're going to dig into that, and we're going to hopefully help you to see that there's no need after this evening to compare yourself ever again. So I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to give you tips. If you don't have a pen and a paper already, get one, because I promise you, you're going to want to write some stuff down. All right. And I also would like to invite you, being that it is just me, you got me all to yourself. Okay. If you're watching on Facebook, you can actually type in comments or questions, or you could tell me what situation you are dealing with, and we can actually work through it together live on the show. Okay. For those of you that don't know, with my counseling, my specialty is actually trauma. That's my first specialty, is trauma. Then it's abuse, addiction, LGBT, and family violence, anger management. And I'm also a grief specialist. So a lot of things come wrapped in that, but trauma is the core, and a lot of things that we go through affect the way we see ourselves. And that sets us up for a downward spiral. So let's get right into it. So I want to ask you now, during this show, I want you to be very, very authentic and very honest with yourself, because it's not going to do any good if you're, lying to yourself and you're not honest about where you are right now. Okay, so first and foremost, this is going to be that like gut level, deep inventory dive that you're going to go into your heart of heart, and we're going to help put the pieces together and see where things started, and then also help you to see how to dismantle them and take back everything and live the life that you were made to live, that you're created for, that is authentically yours, and one that you could be proud of, and one that you can shine in everything that is all about you. So this show tonight is about you, okay? And it's just for you. And I love when we have these intimate times together. So let's start right off. Comparison. So what does it mean when we compare ourselves to each other? Well, the way we learn, let's think about this. When you're born, okay, how does a baby learn? When they very first learn how to do things, they learn by observation, right? Because they can't communicate yet. They're not capable of verbalizing or communicating. They learn by observing other people, and they learn that, when they cry, somebody comes to tend to their needs. Hopefully, they've got a secure household, and hopefully somebody is coming to their need when they cry. And they learn by faces, they learn by expressions, they learn by observation. So that is the first thing. The first way we learn is by observation. And comparison is actually an observation skill. So when you are comparing yourself to somebody else or what they have, what are you doing? You're looking at where they are, and you're looking at where you are. So you are observing a perceived reality that they live in, and you are comparing it to your present reality. And sometimes you feel like you don't measure up, or sometimes you feel like you're not where you should be, or maybe this isn't where you want it to be. You had a whole nother plan. You wanted to have such and such handled by the time you reached a certain age. You wanted to have your house together. You wanted to be married. You wanted to have your credit together. You wanted to have a good job. And maybe it's not worked out that way for you. So you start looking around, and you start seeing that other people are accomplishing this before you are. So what does that do? Well, that sets off a message in your brain that you are not where you're supposed to be, based upon somebody else's standard. It's not even yours. Okay. So that's the first thing with comparison, is you begin to compare based upon observation. Now, the next part that I want to go into is, what is the measuring bar that you are using to compare yourself against? Is it even a fair comparison? You see, because a lot of times we will compare ourselves to somebody that we literally have nothing in common with. So therefore, it's not a fair comparison. Or we will compare ourselves to somebody who was brought up completely different than we were, or they have an completely entirely different life experience, but yet we will compare ourselves based upon their upbringing. That has nothing to do with us. So that sets you up for a fault as well. Another way we compare ourselves is when you grow up, those people that take care of you, your caregivers, whether you had parents, whether you had they were grandparents, whether it was a family member, you may have been brought up in a gang, who knows, whatever your family unit was, or whether you were on the street by yourself. All right. The way you're going to begin to measure yourself and what you should reach first initially is going to be by what somebody else teaches you. So I want you to think about that for a minute. All behavior is learned, and not all behavior that we learn is correct. So, how many of you have parents or a caregiver that said, hey, you should be this, or you should be that, or, everybody in the family has a family business, and, when you get to a certain point, it's going to be your time to take on the family business, and, we're counting on you and all that other stuff. Or maybe as you're going to school, you start to see that you're good in a couple of things. And maybe some teachers get in your ear and say, wow, you'd be really good at this. You should think about doing this, and that. So they have your ear. And most people don't spend very much time thinking about what it is that they truly want. Because when we grow up, depending on your culture, depending on your religious beliefs, depending on your geographic location, depending on your demographics, all of that is going to come with a social normalization within that culture about what is considered proper, or what is considered good, or what is considered successful. And that is going to differ based upon the group that you're surrounded by. So maybe you'll be getting pressure from your culture, from your, surroundings, that they're going to expect you to do such and such by a certain time. Like different cultures have different even levels of when somebody is a man or when somebody is considered a woman. Okay. And they have different celebrations. Like, for example, two are coming to my mind right now. If you're in the Jewish culture, at 13, a boy has what? His bar mitzvah. That is his rite of passage into being a man. Well, everybody knows at 13 years old, a young boy is in no ways capable of being a man, but yet that is a rite of passage. They haven't even gone through the thing yet to get all their experience. They don't know what it's like to take care of a family, so that puts some pressure. If you are in a Hispanic culture, I've got a daughter that's Puerto Rican, okay, and 15 is the age for girls, your quinceañera. That is a big deal. When a girl in a Hispanic culture turns 15, that is a celebration of turning into a woman. And a lot of times you'll see people get married at very young ages, depending on the culture, because that's their norm. That's what their social norm is. Okay. Now, so that's where the beginning of social comparison comes into play. And we are taught that we should be doing certain things by certain times. We are taught that we should have accomplished A, B, C, and D by such and such time. Now, oddly enough, within our own family units, a lot of times those people that are giving you the directions, hey, you need to be at A, B, C, and D by this age and this age and this age, many times they haven't accomplished it themselves, but yet they're holding you to a standard that they haven't even accomplished. So you want to check, where is it coming from? Is it a valuable resource? Like, is it a resource that you can count on? Or is it somebody's perception of what you should be? Whether it's your family or not. because there's all those unspoken laws within family units. There's all those unspoken rules of what you should attain by when. There's expectations. So with expectations come comparisons. Because if an expectation is set, that's a bar, that's a level that you are expected to reach. Well, comparison is the very element of, have you met an expectation or not, or do you measure up? I want to step back a little bit. When we develop, especially girls, and it's true with boys as well, but those formidable years, you are, by the time you get in that pre-adolescent stage, like 11, 12-ish, kids at that age are already worried about, do they fit into society? Do they fit into their peer group? Because think about it. When was the first time you, whether you're male or female, when was the first time you looked at your body and you started to measure it against somebody else? And maybe you thought you were too fat, you were too thin, you were too light, you were too dark, you were awkward. Maybe you just didn't quite fit in. Maybe you were a nerd and everybody else was jocks. Maybe, who knows what your situation was. But when you're younger, that pre-adolescent stage, the primary focus on a pre-adolescent is identity. It's a search for identity. They're trying to fit in. And think about when you were in school, all those groups you tried to fit into. There was a reason. And in order to try to want to fit into them, you're comparing yourself to them. All right. So that's a little bit of a foundation of where it starts. So I know we're going to take our first break in a minute or two, but I just kind of want to set the field here for you, or the foundation, so you can get an idea of where we're going. Now, there is something called social comparison theory. There's actually an entire theory based upon, because we as humans, we're social creatures by nature. Everything is done socially. We are created to be social. We are created for connection. We are created to intertwine. We're not created to be alone. We're not created. You can't even survive alone. You need the help of other people, or other people within your culture. Okay. We're not created to be solitary. So we are social by nature. And within society, there are social norms or social comparisons. And social comparison theory, that was first developed in 1954. Okay. It was by a psychologist named Leon Festinger. For those of you that like to research it, a social comparison theory is a very real theory. And what it talks about is we make comparisons as a way of evaluating ourselves. So at the root, this impulse is to basically see, do you measure up? Do you measure up? And if you go all the way back to like prehistoric times, where you had to fight for, animals and hunt and feed and stuff like that. If you were a boy, by a certain age, you had to be able to kill a lion, kill a bear and all that stuff and bring it home to the family. And if you weren't able to do that, let's say you weren't strong enough, then you were compared, and you weren't considered one of the stronger ones. So that will make you feel less than. So within society, that action to actually want to compare yourself to somebody else, that comes from a place of insecurity. And we're going to open that up after the break, and we're going to see how that developed and how you got to think about how you see yourself. And it's coming from somewhere. Somebody else put that there for you. And it's so strong that, before the internet came, all right, typically growing up, teenagers would, try to fit in for identity and stuff like that. And they would grow out of it by the time they got to be adults, right? They kind of found their way and made their families and stuff. And they really stopped comparing themselves. But here's the shift that has happened. And here's why this is so important to talk about today. Once internet came and once social media got on the scene, those adults are stuck in this loop of adolescence with the act of social media, because now they're looking to social media and they're comparing their life to all of their classmates to see, are they where they should have been? Do they, look the same? Do they have the same? Are they keeping up with the Joneses? Are they, they're comparing themselves still as an adult to those very people when they were in school, when their identity was being formed in those pre-adolescent years, and when they're growing into young adulthood, they're still stuck in it. So that trap of comparison, because of social media a lot of times, and because of cultural influences and our family influences, we get stuck. And it's a trap right now. And we start to do things, we do extreme things to measure up, because we feel like we're not enough. So we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how to come out of that trap of comparison, and how you can see exactly how amazing you are and why you are the way that you are, which is a good thing. So we'll be right back.
Have you subscribed yet to the free bi-monthly digital interactive Ego magazine? No? Well, head on over to www.egoentertainmentnet.com to subscribe now. This magazine is all about supporting and showcasing excellence in communities everywhere, from music, arts and culture, relationships, education, politics, celebrities, food, and so much more. While you're flipping through the pages, just click on the buttons and social icons and you'll be taken to a whole other world behind the articles and ads. At Ego Entertainment, everyone is a star. There is something in it for everyone. And we hope you are positively impacted by what you see and will continue to support Ego Magazine. Track CBPD by Arulo. The Gallery Event Center and Ego Entertainment Network has teamed up to bring you the #1 all-inclusive VIP premier event package. Get ready to drop mouths open with this one. It includes 6-hour venue rental, unlimited tables and chairs, table and chair covers, chair sashes, table centerpieces, charger plates, projector and screen, 65-inch TV, wireless microphone, surround sound, complimentary drinks, soda, water, beer, or wine. Also, travel to and from event for Ego Entertainment Network, setup and breakdown of equipment, 4 hours of services including recorded media coverage and interviews, audio and video, editing of all data captured with music background, customized graphics B-roll footage of your event, red carpet or step and repeat setup, coordination and interviews on your carpet or step and repeat. You do not want to miss out on this amazing opportunity, and the package is all inclusive for just $3,000. Book now at thegalleryeventcenter.com. That's thegalleryeventcenter.com. You can also contact the Gallery Event Center at 317-534-6399. The VIP Premier Event Package. If you're tired of hearing the same music and content every 5, 10, or 15 minutes on air, then check out JQLM Radio for the realest, rawest, and most relevant variety of music, talk shows, and more. Start your days with a little bit of gospel and gospel rap from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All of my life, I've never known you to fail. You deliver me. 'Cause all I seem to do is coming and breaking it down with that wiggity style. Man, we really be living it out, don't miss it.
Then get into some hot R&B.
Say baby, what you doing? Excited.
Some hip hop.
Falling in deep with the quicksand. Flag on the fan, oh quick run. I was packing on the pound, got my
little bit of pop,
Watermelon sugar, strawberries.
and some neo soul for the rest of the day. JQLM Radio, real, raw, and relevant.
Holds my hand.
We are back, and I want to share with you guys that my workbook is available now. And this is called Whose Eyes Do You See Yourself Through? How to Make Sense of Your Life and See More Clearly. And this is an interactive workbook. It's just like being in a session with me. So you'll write in it and everything. And I take you through how to see yourself through your own eyes and to get rid of the view that you have of yourself that other people put on you. It's available on Amazon today, so go ahead and order that. All right, so we're talking about the trap of comparison, and we introduce social media and how that can be detrimental. Now, social media is great. By no means am I, y'all are on social media seeing me now. So we need social media. Social media is very positive. However, social media can be detrimental if you start comparing yourself. Okay. So I want to talk now a little bit about the differences, the shift that has been happening. See, before we got into social media, you just grew and, you didn't have to see people all the time to worry about comparing them, especially when you grow up out of school and you guys all go your separate ways. Everybody's got their own families and you rarely see them again unless they're very, very close friends. The shift that has happened now is social media. Everybody's on social media. And how many times have you done this? Okay. Or somebody who has done this. Let's say you post something that you feel great about. You post a picture of yourself. You feel awesome. And you notice and you look at how many likes you got. And you were feeling great when you posted your picture or your story or something. And, you were all pumped and positive. And then you notice you only got 1 or 2 likes, or maybe nobody liked it. And in some kind of way, that shifted your view about yourself. Like, wow, nobody likes that. So sometimes we can interpret that as, and this is the danger. Here's the trap of comparison. Initially, you posted something because you were so happy, you just wanted to share it. But then if nobody recognizes it, now you start to doubt yourself and think, am I not enough? How come nobody liked it? Maybe if they don't like this post, maybe they don't like me. And then we get into this negative downward spiral. And then we start looking at other people's posts. We try to see what gets more likes. And here's the funny thing. A lot of times, all the friends you have on social media, unless you're very intentional about not accepting people, unless you personally know them, a lot of times people have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. They don't know these people, y'all. They don't know them. They've never seen them. They've never had a conversation with them, but yet they will be so worried if they don't get interaction from them. Why? That goes back to social comparison theory, because we're social by nature. And even though we create our own societies, and now today it's internet, it's social media. And listen to that first word, social media. We're social by nature. So we will perceive subconsciously that if we're not accepted or liked in social media, somehow that means in society, even if these persons are on the other side of the world and they don't speak your language, all right, or they're trying to sell you all kinds of stuff or whatever, okay, they have a ulterior motive for liking you and for wanting to be on your page. And then you notice they're posting all their stuff on. They're like, oh yeah, come to my page and see this. So it's not real, y'all, a lot of times. But so many times we will literally get depressed if we don't have certain likes from people we don't even know. Or worse yet, if it's people we do know or family, if they don't notice, then we're like, oh, why didn't they like that? But then again, not everybody lives on social media. So it's like, because social media is there 24/7, we now think everybody is there watching it 24/7. And some people are watching it 24/7, and they're scrolling for hours and hours and hours and hours, reading on this person, reading on that person, keeping up with their, oh, I got to see what they're doing. Oh my God, girl, did you see this person broke up, or this person? It ain't none of y'all's business anyway. But you'll spend hours searching other people's perceived lives and compare it to your real life and feel like you don't measure up. That's a trap. I saw a video, my friend Coach Toy, she said, she actually sent it to me on Instagram, and it sparked this whole thing. And especially on social media, because everything people posts is not real, y'all. And especially today. Okay. Like, okay, one thing that I'm very proud of about myself is, and it took me 56. I'm 56. It took me several years. I was going to say 56 years, but it didn't. It took me several years in my adulthood to get to where I am right now. And at times I still struggle. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to be transparent. I'm not going to pretend like I don't struggle with this sometimes, because that again would be fake. It'd be a false reality. Sometimes I do still struggle. But one thing that I am proud of is my hair is real. And this is no shade to anybody who is not. Okay. This is just me. Okay. My eyelashes are real. My lips are real. My skin is real. My butt is real, as big as it is. Trust me. You couldn't buy my butt, because mine is natural. It comes from 5 kids, and my cellulite is real. My wrinkles are real. My rolls are real. But I'm finally getting to the point where I'm starting to really like myself, and I'm coming into my own, and I'm not comparing myself like I used to. There she is. Hey, Toy, how you doing? So, we compare ourselves. I spent a lot of my life comparing myself to other people. And with me, okay, I used to go to a modeling school. When I was 14, I went to John Casablanca's, and I learned how to do makeup. I learned how to walk. I always wanted to be a model, y'all. But I'm 5'4". Well, I'm 5'3" now. But I wanted to be a model so bad. And I went to modeling school, and I loved it. I felt wonderful going. I felt like, wow, I'm getting class, like a air of classiness about me. And I really did learn how to be feminine, how to walk, how to do my makeup, how to do all that. And for me, it was very good, because for me, my mother didn't teach me that. She didn't teach me all the things about being a lady. She didn't teach me, about womanhood. She didn't teach me any of that. So I was lacking already from the jump. And I wanted to be a model, because there's, several people in my family that are models. But I wanted to be a model because I wanted to look like I fit in. And so I went to modeling school, John Casablanca's, for a little bit, but then I couldn't keep it up, money wise and stuff. But they told me something. They said, you'll never be a model because you're too short. They told me this at 14, y'all. And at 14, and anybody who knows me from high school, and it will say to you, I have not changed much. I'm one of the ones that I look very much the same as when I did when I was younger. Like, I haven't transformed. So I was an attractive 14-year-old. And they told me that I'll never be a model because I'm not tall enough and I'm not skinny enough. So what did I do? I went to town, y'all, trying to get to be their image of what was considered a model, because I wanted to be seen as beautiful. I did so much damage to my body, y'all. I developed, I ate and I didn't eat, and I overate, and I ate all my worries away. And I tried to lose weight and I dropped a lot of weight and I tried to fit in. And no matter what I did, I could not look the way they wanted me to look. I couldn't fit into that image. And I definitely couldn't make myself grow. I couldn't make myself taller. So I started to feel not good enough because I wasn't tall enough and I wasn't thin enough, and my chest wasn't big enough. My waist wasn't small enough. My butt was too big. My thighs were too big. I was everything that I was didn't fit their mold of what perfection or what their image of beauty was. So I started to feel badly about myself. And that carried me for many, 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 many years, guys. So, and the funny thing is with modeling, especially and sizes, like today, thank God, the fashion industry is finally acknowledging thicker women or plus size women. But the funny thing is they call it plus, but it's really, do you know the average size of a woman is 14 and 16? It is not 5 and 6. The average size of a woman is 14 and 16. Well, in the modeling world back then, oh my God, 14 and 16, you will never get seen or featured. And I was like an 8 or a 10 when I was like 14 years old, and that was too big. They told me I was too big. And I had my little ribs showing and stuff like that. But, I wasn't a size 2 because back then, 40 years ago, that stick straight, very no shape, no body was the measure of beauty. And as you see with fashion, as the fashions change, the measurements change. And and now the curvy model, the curvy shape is preferred. But see, the natural shape for a woman is you have curves. Now you may have less curves than others, but we're not straight up and down. We have hips, we have breasts, we have, lumps and bumps, and we have beautiful curves to our body. But when we try to fit into a mold, we don't begin to celebrate our own body. Nowadays, Marilyn Monroe, there's this huge following of Marilyn Monroe. Do you know Marilyn Monroe was a size 14? And she had that hourglass figure. But as far back as you can see, especially with women, what did they do? They wore those corsets to make your waist. You had to have less than a 20-inch waist. You couldn't breathe. It was doing damage to your organs, but it was the perceived image of what beauty was. So comparison. All right. So this goes way, way back. Now for men, it's the same thing, but on a different scale. You got to be strong. You gotta, you have to satisfy the woman. You have to make a certain amount of money. You got to do all this. And the gentlemen are comparing themselves. If they don't got a certain job, certain women won't look at them, which is ridiculous. Ladies, can I just say that? That's ridiculous. If they don't drive a certain car, you won't talk to them. What? It's like, so you're comparing what they have on material things or things. So they're striving to get things to impress and they're struggling. A lot of them are struggling. And a lot of men will tell me in groups that, well, they don't even know who I am. They don't even spend time to get to know me. It's the same thing women say. All right. So we're all struggling to reach this image of what perfection is or beauty is because we all want to be loved and accepted. So we compare ourselves. Now, how do we get out of that? This is what I want to finish off with. I know we got to take another break. We're going to take our next break, and I'm going to give you the tips on how to come out of that trap of comparison and get to loving yourself and realizing just how effing awesome you are. We're going to be right back.
Ego Entertainment Network's JQLM radio division is now accepting new radio hosts or syndicated radio shows and podcasts. Join a winning team with 46,000 to 70,000 listeners per month in 65 plus countries, all-inclusive packages, major podcast distribution, and major event opportunities and more. Do not miss out on this opportunity. If you want to start your own show or have a show already and you would like to syndicate, contact Ego Entertainment now at egoentertainmentnet.com. That's egoentertainmentnet.com. Would you like to advertise your brand, product, service, or event to hundreds of potential clients and guests with direct links to inquire and shop immediately? Well, advertise with Ego Magazine, the hottest bi-monthly digital interactive magazine around. Your ad will include clickable buttons that lead directly to your service or product for the interactive experience. Half-page ads are only $15 and full-page ads are only $25. Did we mention that your ad runs for 60 days? Advertise with us, Ego Magazine, a division of Ego Entertainment Network. Visit www.egoentertainmentnet.com. That's www.egoentertainmentnet.com and complete the form while you're there. We look forward to promoting you. Track Try Me by Arulo on Mixkit.com.
Hey there. If you can hear my voice, this is Pamela, host of Hospitality, here to remind you that Ego Entertainment Network has a lot for your business. Listen, honey, you need to get with it. Ego Entertainment offers various services, media coverage, red carpet services, promo interviews on air. They offer meet and greet services, honey, not to mention other event services. You want to get in gear. Ego Entertainment is empowered greatness optimized. We're now booking and spots are going fast. Ego serves the United States and all event types, honey. So if you are opening a business, having a store opening, a restaurant opening, and you want some coverage, Ego Entertainment is the way to go. Call or text 317-886-0296 or go to egoentertainmentnet.com.
All right, we are back talking about the trap of comparison. And now we're going to go to that part where we're going to see how to come out of it. Now, real fast, before we do that, I want to bring something up. Now, we are social creatures by nature, right? And our brain has different regions in it. And there is a region that is considered the pleasure region or the reward principle. And we do things that feel good, that activate that pleasure reward system in our brain, which is a chemical of dopamine and serotonin. There's a blend that keeps you feeling good. So when you do things that feel good, this is activated in your brain and it sets off a stimulation of a reward or a pleasure principle. That's why you want to do it again. Now, your brain also has a part which is fear-based, and it's based upon survival. It's based upon self-preservation, and it's based upon impending threat or danger. So if you are in the midst of impending danger, well, then certain chemicals are going to be released in your brain as well to alert you to that. And you're going to have different reactions to different types of stress and danger to let you know. It's alerting you that you're in danger. And, you know, everybody has that, what's called a reptilian brain that automatically turns on that need to survive. Because trust me, if your life is in danger, you will do whatever you need to preserve your life, because that's how we are created. We are created to preserve our life, and we're created to multiply and to create life. So these are instinctual. And when our life is threatened in any way, shape, or form, then a fear or an anxiety comes up and a stress, and then our body goes into another type of motion automatically. But pleasure, all right, and reward, that is what you get when you get compliments. That's why you feel good. That's what you do when you do, that's what you get when you're doing something that brings you pure joy and just You just feel filled up. And that's because that reward and that pleasure principle is that pleasure sense of your brain is being turned on. And just like sex is a natural need. That's why for most people it's pleasurable, and most people will continue to seek it because it feels good and it releases stuff, and you just have this whole feeling afterwards. And all of that is natural. So with society, with social rewards, think about it. When you get recognized or you get rewarded, it feels good, right? And when you do something nice for somebody, you act kindly or you show love, that same part of your brain is activated. That's what makes you want to do more, because it creates that feeling of, oh, I like this feeling. I want more of it. And we're social in nature, so all of us want to feel significant. We all want to feel loved. We all want somebody's face to light up when we walk in the room. We all want to feel safe. We all have a need for connection. We all have a need for love. We have basic needs like safety. And when all of those are met, we feel good. And when they're lacking, we don't feel good. Now, social rewards, when you get a reward of, say, like a like on social media, you actually feel good. You're like, oh, somebody liked it. Well, that little minute action, that social reward that you're getting is activating that dopamine within your brain, which is signaling that you're getting attention or a positive regard, and it's releasing those good chemicals, which is why you feel good. And when you don't see it, well, now your body likes that feeling and it doesn't get it, and it craves it and it wants to do it again. So it's going to do something else. It's going to go to another level so that it can get that reward activated within their brain. Now, this goes similar for people that become addicted to stuff. Okay. Whenever somebody becomes addicted to a substance or a habit, a behavior, or in anything, and guys, you can literally get addicted to anything, a substance. You can get addicted to chaos. You can get addicted to toxicity. You can get addicted to food, gambling, sex, shopping. You can get addicted to anything. But most people, when they are looking for a substance, I'll look there, or shopping. Okay, they feel good when they shop. When they buy it, they feel good. Or if they eat. That's why they call certain things comfort food, because it activates that pleasure within your brain, and it's instant gratification. So we seek instant gratification by nature. So if somebody doesn't like us, that instantly makes us feel bad. Have you ever not been invited to a party that everybody else was invited to, and you feel badly about yourself? You're like, wow, I thought they were my friends. Why wasn't I invited? And then you start to internalize, what's wrong with me? Everybody, don't I fit in? And then you start to compare yourself. So this goes deep, guys. And like I said, most of us grow out of it, but the problem with social media is it's ever present before us. So here are some keys of how to deal with and get out of that trap of comparison. So number one, I got 5 keys for you. Okay. So number one, seek connection, not comparison. You want to connect with people because by nature, we're built for connection. So things that you connect with that make you feel good, and you can ground yourself. It doesn't even have to involve another person. Seek connection on some way, shape, or form with your mind, your body, and your spirit. You can go outside, take your shoes off, feel your feet on the grass, and connect with nature. Connect with, peace or tranquility. You can go out and see water and connect with the tranquility, with the relaxation. Seek connection, not comparison. Now, that's number one. Number two, look up just a little and try to reach that. And what I mean by that is sometimes the people you're trying to compare yourself to are way up here. You're like let's say you're working on your finances, and yeah, everybody wants to be a millionaire, but your account is negative $256. You got an eviction notice. You don't know how in the world you're getting to work. You scraping the change to find gas, but yeah, you want to be a millionaire. And if you have $300 saved up, you feel like that's not a big accomplishment because you're looking too high. And I'm not saying limit what you're going after, but while you're growing and transitioning, it's in levels, y'all. Okay, so just look up a little bit and attain that, and then look up to the next one. Because if you look way at the end, you might get overwhelmed, or you'll think, oh, I could never get there. Especially if you're trying to lose weight. Oh, I got 100 pounds to lose. That might take some time. Let's focus on the first 5 and celebrate those, and then go to the next 5 and the next 5, and before you know it, you'll be at that 100 pounds. So look up just a little and attain that. Number 3, count your blessings. I know that sounds cliche, but how you count your blessings is you count downward within your own ancestry line. So what do I mean by that? So where you are today, look within your family. Look to your mother, to your grandmother, to your father, to your grandfather. I bet you are probably doing a whole hell of a lot better than they are. You probably have a whole lot more than they ever had or ever attained. I promise you, your job is paying more than ever paid, and we take it for granted. So count your blessings and look downward within your own line of ancestry, and you'll see you're a lot better off than you think you are. Number 4, compare yourself to yourself, not to others. And you don't want to compare yourself to yourself to box yourself in. Like everybody has those clothes from high school that, shoot, you can't even get one thigh in. Don't compare yourself to that and be like, oh, I used to be this size. Well, you may not be that size right now, because that's been decades since you've been that size. When you compare yourself to yourself, like let's say you're a runner, okay? Or let's say you're walking, trying to get into shape. You want to compare yourself to your last run, not the fastest runner in the race. And as long as you continue to do one more or just a little bit more, and you compare yourself against your best version of yourself that was recent, that's in reach. That's something that's attainable. Don't look to something that was 20 years ago. Okay, you get there, but it's going to take you a whole lot of time. You didn't get where you are now overnight. And if you're looking to compare yourself from 20 years ago, baby, that's going to take some time. That was 20 years ago. So it's going to take more than 20 minutes to get there. All right. And number 5, pursue upward joy. So what does that mean? When you get envious of others, because when comparison sets in, you tend to get envious of other people and you want what they want. Well, like the saying says, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. The grass is the greenest where you water it. So you may think somebody's got this perfect lifestyle. Everything looks perfect. And sweetie, you don't know what is going on behind those doors. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're enduring. And those social media posts that you're comparing yourself to, all right, I was in a business and I had a coach tell me, oh, just post this lifestyle. And I just could not do it because I'm like, that's a lie. I'd rather post authentically where I am and let people watch me as I grow. And we just couldn't connect on that. And I came out because I just could not put up a facade. I'm going to tell you where I'm at. Sometimes I'm great. Sometimes I'm not. But to post, now that doesn't mean don't visualize, and manifestation is real. But, when you're looking to compare yourself to social media, what they're posting could simply be their manifestation that they are putting together right now to perceive that they have that. And it's actually fiction. It's not reality. And that could be awesome for them. But don't base your comparison of where you are right now based upon somebody's perceived success, because you don't even know if that's real. Okay. Stick to what you know. Stick to what's real to you. And then lastly, I want to leave you with this. Okay. Now, I know we have many faiths. We have many different beliefs and, everything. And I just want to share this with you. Okay. Let me find it right here. Oh my God, Toy, I need you right now. I'm looking for this. Okay, here we go. All right. If you are a person that does read the Bible, the Christian Bible, I'm going to give you a scripture. Okay. Psalms 139 and 13 and 14. It says, "For you formed my inward parts, you covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well." So you are you on purpose, and you were fearfully and wonderfully made. And think about it. Whatever you believe, whatever higher power you believe, you got here some kind of way. All right. And the way you were formed took such great thought, such great detail. Nobody has the hair you have. Nobody has the eyelashes that you have. Nobody has the body that you have. Nobody has the ideas that you have. Nobody has that personality that you have. We're so unique, we don't even have fingerprints that are the same. That's by design. So why are you trying so hard to fit into somebody else? It's an impossibility. You weren't created to be the same of anybody. You were created to be you, and you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And there's nobody else on the planet like you by design. And you, beloved, like I always say in my post, you, beloved, are that sought after person because you have a sphere of influence of people that nobody can reach but you. You go through everything that you go through to get you to where you are right now. No matter how you're feeling about yourself, I promise you, you're going to get on the other side if you keep sticking through and, fall in love with yourself. And when you realize just how wonderful you are and how much work was put into you and how many gifts that you have and how many people are waiting for the answers that you have. And right now, you think everything is up in the air. Right now, you think you don't know the way out. You don't know what is coming up. But I promise you, you are the answer to somebody's prayers, and you got the key that they're looking for. Because not only is everything inside of you already that you need to succeed, you actually got the blueprint to help somebody else out. So why not sow some kindness and start with yourself? Sow love into yourself, love yourself, and that way you can love others and you can help lead them out and teach them how to love themselves and to stop comparing themselves as well. Thank you guys so much. You have been listening to Me Powered with Rhonda, where everything you need is already inside of you. If you want to be a guest on the show, go ahead and email me at mepoweredwithrhonda@gmail.com. And remember, beloved, you're perfectly fine just the way you are. Have a great night.